Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 15. Now, at the end of last episode, we set up this little guy over here, the Ender Tank, along with the endothermic pump in the Nether, to give us an almost unlimited source of lava, at least for the time being, until we pretty much run out of lava in the Nether, which is going to be a long time away. And one of the first things that I want to do this episode is put some of this lava to use to make us a source of pretty much unlimited obsidian. So, the way we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and, first of all, grab the dolly that we made last episode. And I'm going to go ahead and move some of these chests out of the way a little bit. And also, somebody in the comment section, actually quite a few people in the comment section, oh my gosh. Okay, this is broken. That's why. When this chest fills up, the grinder stops working, and then mobs stop dying, and then it gets really laggy really fast. So anyway, a lot of people said in the comment section that if we put Cursed Earth directly beneath the blaze spawner, or if we were to move the blaze spawner directly on top of the Cursed Earth, that the blazes would continue to spawn even when we're not around. So what I think I'm going to try and do is make that happen. People also suggested that we put a little pool of lava beneath the Cursed Earth here, so that as soon as we flick this lever, all the mobs that are still about, instead of just standing there like they're doing right now, they actually fall and hit the ground, which is actually a really cool idea. But for now, what I'm going to do is, I think, let's go ahead and grab, like, one of these pieces of Cursed Earth right at the very back, if we can. Can I, like, open this, please? I think I might need to break the red alloy wire real quick. And I'm going to grab a piece of Cursed Earth. Or not? Did I just... what? I'm not quite... what? Oh, there it is. Okay. Not quite sure what happened there. A little bit laggy, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and throw that back in there. Hook the red alloy wire back up like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and put one just beneath the Cursed Earth. Hopefully that will make it continue to spawn when I'm not here. I just assume it will. I haven't really tested it. Let's give this a try. And hopefully we also don't get killed by blazes in the meantime. No, don't kill me. Please. I'm too young to die. Whew, there we go. Okay, that worked, and we'll put that back down there, and hopefully they will continue to spawn while I'm not here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get rid of all of these bows. I should probably set up a little trash can somewhere. Actually, I'm going to do that. Let's get a trash can. For those who don't know, the trash can is a really simple block from Extra Utilities, really easy to make, and once you got this, it basically just deletes blocks from the world. So things like all of these broken bows that were... oh, what did I just throw away? I feel like I threw away something important there, but I might not have done. Anyway, once we've got all of these broken bows, we can just throw them away. We don't need them. Let's get rid of all these. Eventually, I will go ahead and automate the sorting of all of the stuff that comes from the mob farm, so it automatically goes into the trash can. But anyway, back on track. The first thing that I want to make today is a igneous extruder. Igneous extruder. That's this guy over... helps if you can spell it right. This guy over here, this thing is fairly easy to make. I've gone ahead and made all of the stuff between episodes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly sort of dig a bit of a hole here into the wall. Now, this is the outside world, so we have to be careful a little bit about how far back we go. But I'm going to dig a little bit of a hole into the wall there. And we're going to have an unlimited water source back here. And we're going to use the water from that water source, along with the lava from the ender tank, in our igneous extruder, which is going to go, I think, right about there, to make us an unlimited source of obsidian. So this thing, the igneous extruder, can make 3 different items. It can make cobblestone, smooth stone, and obsidian. If you put it to make cobblestone, it will not use any of the lava that goes in this tank or any of the water that goes in this tank, and you will just get unlimited cobblestone, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, not extremely useful, because what are you going to use all that? What are you going to use it for? Like, once you've got so much cobble, you don't really need too much more. I'll go ahead and dump those in there for the time being. If you say to use smooth stone, if you want it to make smooth stone for you, it will do that, but it won't. So if you, okay, let me get my words together. If you want it to make a smooth stone, what it'll do is it'll use up the water in the tank, but it won't use up the lava. So you can put 1 bucket of lava in there and then pump water into it, and that will just make stone forever. It'll make stone forever and ever and ever. I call it smooth stone. I know it's not called smooth stone. There are people that point that out. It's kind of crazy, but that's how that works. And then finally, the last thing that you can make with it is obsidian. And obsidian obviously uses both water and lava continuously, 1,000 millibuckets, aka a bucket of each, to make a piece of obsidian. So if we were to go ahead and do something like this, set up a little unlimited water source, I can do this for the time being to show you how it works. And there you go, that's cobblestone. That didn't use up anything. Obsidian is going to use up 1,000 millibuckets of the lava and all of the water. and we get obsidian. Nice! And now all we have to do is set it up so that this water is getting automatically pumped into the igneous extruder here. And there are a few ways we could do that. We could set up an aqueous accumulator. Let's have a look. Do we have what it takes to make an aqueous accumulator? I think we do. Really easy stuff, actually. It's just another machine frame, which I think we actually have, as well as a server and some more pipes. You can also set up a fluid transfer node as well. The fluid transfer node does require a world interaction upgrade, so it's a little bit more tricky to set up, but this thing will do just fine. We'll go ahead and throw you down right about there. And basically, the aqueous accumulator will just pull water from nearby. You don't have to have water nearby for it to pull water. It can just, like, squeeze them out of the dirt somehow. But you get a lot more water if you have 2 water source blocks either side of it. And then all we have to do is grab ourselves some of the fluid conduits that we made last episode. Set those up like so. Make sure the back end of this, and if this happens, by the way, if you have fluid in one tank, in one pipe, and not in the other, they won't connect. All you have to do is grab yourself some form of wrench or crescent hammer. Do we have a crescent hammer? Wow, okay, we don't. We made it to episode like 15 and not made a crescent hammer. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and do something like this. And basically, what we could do now is we can go ahead and just right-click there on one of these sides. There we go, and then it'll work. Okay, not exactly what I wanted there. Let's try that again. If I get rid of you, and I put down the aqueous accumulator, and then we stick down a fluid conduit, and then... Come on. Work with me here. Shift right-click, by the way, to remove them, and then just... I think just right-click on that side usually makes it work. Or you can just make sure you put that one down second. Either way, that works fine. Make sure the back there is set to blue. Blue is input. Now this has an unlimited water source. All we have to do now is stick that there. Make sure that the one touching the tank is set to extract. Just right-click, go across. Make sure redstone signal is off, unless you want to be able to control it with a redstone signal. And now this thing is filled up with an unlimited lava source. Make sure, again, this side is set to blue, and this thing will fill up with lava. Nice. This is going to keep going until it gets 64 obsidian. As you can see, our unlimited lava source is working perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and fill the wall behind us back in, like so. And look at that. We just have a nice little block now that's going to sit there and make us unlimited obsidian that we are going to be able to access whenever we want, which is pretty awesome because it means we no longer have to go hunting for an on-ground pool of lava with the terrain smasher and a chest to get ourselves obsidian, and that, I think, is pretty freaking cool. Now, onto the meat of the episode. What I really want to get done this episode is I want to get ourselves an almost, actually I should probably turn this back on, an almost unlimited, or should I say an access to an unlimited amount of emeralds, because emeralds is something that we actually don't have any of at all, and we kind of need for a couple of things here and there, and it's kind of annoying if we don't have any. They're also kind of hard to find. You only find emeralds in extreme hills biomes, and we're not in an extreme hills biome, so mining for them is not really going to be an option unless we go traveling, and I don't really want to do that. I'm not a huge fan of mining for ages and ages and ages looking for emeralds, so instead we are going to set up a system that lets us get emeralds whenever we want. And that's going to start with the village that we found out in the middle of nowhere, over that way in the desert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over there, and we're going to trade with that guy to get ourselves 2 emeralds, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so back at this village, we have this guy who is willing to trade us 12 bucks for an emerald. Now, also he's willing to trade us 4 glass for an emerald, which, to be fair, my friend, is a terrible deal. No one's ever going to take that. But my whole plan here hinges on this guy giving us 2 emeralds. So hopefully, he won't mind, A, us taking all this stuff, which is something someone in the comment section or a few episodes back recommended I do. Just grab all of those. Didn't quite get 24, so we are going to have to go ahead and make a couple more. Okay, that's 1. He is willing to trade for another one. I just have to go get some more books. So, I'm going to head back to base. I'm going to come back again. We're going to get the emerald. Then I'm going to go back to base. And I'll meet you guys when we get back. Okay, and a little while later, I think the blazers are definitely working. We now have 30 blaze rods, and when I came back, this thing again was backed up, and we had a ton of blazers all stacked up here. So I think the cursed earth under there is definitely working. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few of those, because we are going to need them in just a second, because now that we have these 2 emeralds, what I would like to make is the auto spawner. But real quick before that, I made a tank, this thing over here, really easy to make. It's just copper in the middle, and then glass at the top, bottom, left, and right in the crafting table, and all this thing is going to do is just collect some water if there's any excess from this thing, which we now have 64 obsidian, by the way, which is kind of cool. I think I'll take that and put that in the in the AE system in case we need it. But I just put this here so it's easy access for us if we need water for anything. You'll see it instantly fills back up, which is kind of awesome. But back to the auto spawner. This thing is fairly difficult to make, but once we have it, it's really freaking awesome. So in order to make it, again, there are 2 recipes. There is a thermal expansion way and an Ender IO way. We're going to go with the thermal expansion way just because the Z-Logic controller is a bit of a pain to make, requiring the slice and splice. So we're going to make this thing. We have pretty much everything apart from the nether wart, the 2 magma creams, and the ender pearls we have, the emeralds we have there. So we're just missing the magma creams and the nether wart. Nether wart we're obviously going to have to go to the nether for. Shouldn't be too hard now that we know where that nether fortress is, where we got the blazers from. But the hardest part is probably going to be the magma creams. However, we can craft them using congealed blood and blaze powder. Now, congealed blood, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we can get by simply going in here ourselves. I think. This should actually damage us. There we go. Okay. Yep. There we go. And if we have a look in here, now we have 5 millibuckets of congealed blood. Not quite sure how much you need to actually get congealed blood itself. So I'm going to stand in here for a little while longer. And once you've died a good number of times to the smeltery, you get yourself a little ball of congealed blood like so, which you can then go ahead and combine with a blaze to get a magma cream. Nice. For those who are wondering, you need exactly 160 millibuckets of blood in order to get that congealed ball of blood. And I think for every 3 hearts that you have, you get 5 millibuckets. So you are going to have to die multiple times in order to get one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again until we get the second ball of congealed blood. Then I'm going to go to the nether to get the nether wart. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a little while later, all of that is done. We have ourselves the 2 magma creams that we need. One of them is there. The final thing is nether wart, and we're also going to need a ghast here for later on in the episode. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start charging this thing up because we're going to be flying around the nether quite a bit. And I'm also going to get myself the sword and some more iron armor so we can get rid of all that for now. Let's have a look. Iron, I know we have some more over here. Let's go. Wow, we've got a lot of stuff in here. Is this backed up? No, it's not. Okay, good. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves a bit more iron armor. Here we go. We'll take some leggings and a helmet. And I'm going to go ahead and try and find a ghast while I'm down there. Let's see. Chest plate. Thank you very much. You can go on there. There we go. Take you. You can go on as well. Get rid of all of this stuff. Grab our jetpack back. I think I'm going to... Actually, it's fairly full. I was going to say I'm wait till it's full, but it's fairly full. We'll be fine. Take some apples with us. I'm going to go try and find some nether wart and a ghast, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, and again, a little while later, we're back at the base. We can go ahead, throw the nether wart in there, and we should now have everything it takes to make ourselves the auto spawner. Nice! And basically what this thing does, for those who don't know, is that this allows you to spawn pretty much an infinite amount of any mob or any entity, I guess you want. It doesn't have to be a mob. It can be a villager, for instance, which is exactly what we're going to do if you happen to have a reusable safari net. So what we have to do is get a reusable safari net, which is this guy over here. And this thing, as you can see, requires a ghast here. And for ender pearls, once you got one of those, you can stick it in there. And then if you provide the auto spawner with power, redstone flux, and essence, which is being produced over here by the grinder, which is killing those mobs. So we now have an infinite amount of essence. And thanks to our tree farm and generators, an infinite amount of power, we can now infinitely spawn any mob we want inside here. And the reason that I put it over the smeltery will become clear very, very soon. Now, I've made a bit of a mess of this room, but that's kind of necessary so that we can start to make some of the conduits to power this thing. And we are going to need at least one more conductive iron for this to start working. Thank you very much. And then we can go ahead and do something like this. We'll put you there, you can go along there, and then conductive iron in the middle. Gets us some more energy conduits, and this might be enough, although I have a feeling it won't be. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need like 4 more, if that, maybe 3. So we'll wait for this thing to finish. Whilst that's doing that, what we can do at the same time is get ourselves some more fluid conduits, like so. We don't have any more in there, that's fine. And what I'm going to do with these is we're going to pull the mob essence out of here, down, and along the same line, back up and into the mob spawner. The cool thing about Ender.io conduits is that you can have multiple of these conduits within one block. So we can go ahead and do something like this, and have both energy and fluid conduits both within the block, which is kind of awesome. And then I'm going to try and reach over there, but it doesn't seem to want to let me, so we'll just break down instead, and do this, and this, and then hook it all the way up and along to our mob grinder over here. Like so. And as you can see, it's already starting to pull out the mob essence. Let's go ahead and get rid of you real quick. And then, as before, let's see if we can get it to work this time. We've got our crescent hammer. We should be able to allow that mob essence to flow all the way through and towards the auto spawn. You should just have to right click there. There we go. Okay, it works that time. And now if we look in here, we should have a very nice amount of mob essence filling in pretty quickly, actually, as soon as that gets there, which it doesn't seem to be doing. Why is that? Anyway, not quite sure what's up with that. The mob essence should get in there eventually. Whilst we're waiting for that, we can go ahead and make ourselves a reusable safari net. Let's go ahead and grab some of these. Look at all those blazes, my gosh. Let's get rid of some of these stacks of bows, I guess. 6 stacks of arrows. We'll go ahead and throw those in the trash for now. I don't think we're ever going to be in a situation where we need 4 stacks of arrows. And if we do, I'm sure we'll get some more over time. Anyway, let's go ahead and make ourselves a reusable safari net. Basically, this is the reusable version of a safari net. And just for demonstration here, I'm going to try and go to sleep, and I can't. We'll let the zombie in. Come say hi. Just for a demonstration, what we could do is we can actually go ahead and grab this guy in the safari net and put him back down. If it wasn't a reusable safari net, as soon as I put him down, the safari net would break, so you obviously can't reuse it, and obviously you can't use those in the auto spawner. But if I was to put this guy inside the auto spawner right now, it should go ahead and start spawning zombies, which is obviously not what we want. I think actually that would probably drop the zombie into the smeltery here and give us blood, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so the essence for some reason only wants to go in once there's something in there. Not quite sure why that is, but hey, I mean, I guess that's a thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab that villager. I'll probably grab the other villager, not the villager we've been trading with. Actually, I don't think it really matters. We'll grab the villager we've been trading with, and we're going to put him inside that auto spawner and spawn multiple copies of that villager, and then we'll see what happens after that. Also, one more quick little thing that I kind of want to get going before we set off to get our villager is I'm going to throw some sand in the sag mill and get a little bit more silicon. Thank you. We can finish up these conduits real quick, like so. You can go out there, and we could do something like this. This should be able to hook the guy up with power. There we go. And then we'll get rid of you. And the last thing that I want to make is I want to make some of these ingots that we get when we combine redstone and silicon inside the alloy smelter, like this. We put redstone in there, and we put, I'll say, 6 silicon, maybe? We'll leave that in there. I'm going to go get the villager, guys, and I'll be back in a second. And once we've got the villager, we can go ahead and throw this guy right inside the auto spawner, like so. And then every time this idle tick runs down, it's going to use up a little bit of essence, a little bit of energy, and it's going to spawn us a villager. Now, hopefully, it's going to spawn it within the confines of the smeltery, which, as you can see, is not happening, no! Which is a real pain in the backside. What are you offering? I'm just gonna kill these guys for now. Hopefully most of them will spawn inside the smeltery. If not, we can always make the smeltery bigger so that they do spawn in the smeltery, which is probably something we will end up doing. But as you can see, they drop in, and if you have some form of molten metal in there already, it's gonna go ahead and kill the villagers as soon as they drop in, and they're gonna create liquid emerald. And if you get enough of these to spawn in, and once we get about 9 emeralds worth, we can release that into a casting basin, and we will get an emerald block, which will get us 9 emeralds, which is pretty freaking awesome. I thought we had a basin, but apparently not. That's kind of odd. Let's have a look. Do we have any grout? We don't. Well, the basin is really easy to make. It's just 9 seared brick. I'll probably go ahead and make one between episodes. This thing is getting energy. This thing does cost a lot of energy to run. We should probably up our game in terms of power if we want to run all of this stuff at once. As you can see, the grinder is being a bit of a pain. Mostly from these things that don't stack, which is kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and throw some more stuff away. And one of the last things that I want to do before we end the episode here is go ahead and grab some of this stuff that I was making before we left, the redstone alloy, which is just redstone and silicon. And if we were to go ahead and combine that up, and we're out of power. Brilliant. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the auto spawner because it's using up a lot of power. And that's kind of what this is about. If this thing will turn back on, we can actually use it again. Hopefully. Please. I think next episode we're going to have to start working on our power situation. Like maybe using some of our lava for some power generation. Because right now, this is not doing very well. Not at all. We still got charcoal? We still got loads of charcoal. I think we have like excess charcoal upstairs. Like a barrel full of the stuff. What's up with this? Let's go. Let's turn this off. Let's like disconnect it from everything else. Did that? No. Let's do that. Let's turn off the grinder and everything else. That should click back on. There we go. And now, finally, what I want to do is make something that looks a little bit like this. This gets us insulated redstone cable. I don't actually think it needs to be insulated, but I'm going to insulate it anyway. I think you can make it without the conduit binder, but what this does is it's pretty much another conduit from Ender.io, and you can use it the same way as all the rest of them. We can hook it up and put them all in the same block, which is flipping awesome, like this. And then what I'm going to have is we're going to have it come this way, like so. We're going to put these blocks back down. And then all it is basically redstone that you can run alongside the wiring for Ender.io conduits. And if we were to grab ourselves a lever and stick it on that block in front of the redstone conduit that we just made, it will send a signal to the auto spawner. So we can just flick that like that. You can see that light there is on. If I flick that again, I don't know if you can quite see that over there. Let me see if I can kind of show you this in action. If we were to throw, you can see there the idle tick is running down. If we flick this, the idle tick should stop. If I've done that right. Which apparently I haven't somewhere. Let's have a look. What did I do wrong there? Ah, there we go. Okay, so apparently it wants to, like, touch it. But there we go. That flicks it off. And then if we look back in here, it stopped. It stopped the idle tick. We can make this look a little bit nicer, and I will do at some point in the future. I'm fairly certain it should work on this block here at some point. But basically, that's going to allow us to turn that on and off whilst leaving the Safari Net in there. It's not going to use up all our power, which is kind of cool. It's going to fill it up here if we go ahead and reconnect this down here. But with that, guys, I think I'm going to end the episode there. I think that should be all we need. I don't think we actually needed that extra cable down there. I'm going to go ahead and fix all of this stuff up between episodes. Hopefully, we can have this run a little bit, and maybe next time when we come back, we might actually have some, is that the right one? No, we need to have you there. When we come back, we might have some ender pearls, some emeralds, even not ender pearls. I don't know why I keep getting those confused. If not, we're definitely going to have to work on our power game at some point next episode. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. It helps out a lot, and I will see you guys next time.